Hey, I'm Will. Thanks for checking out this little GrowSquares walkthrough. Let's jump in. It'll be pretty informal, but you should get a good idea of the scope of this project and how it all panned out. I'm going to narrate this, by the way, as if I'm a first-time user. So let's jump right in. All right, I open up the app, see a little intro splash screen, and get just a very high-level idea of what a GrowSquare is. And maybe I get a little bit excited to get started. Next, I'll swipe through some how it works slides to get a little bit more acquainted with the process I'm about to opt into. And after swiping through, learning a little bit, I can sign up easily. At this point, I've learned that this product will first analyze my location and recommend the very best plants for my space. And then I'll also have the chance to buy these plants and grow them myself with the help of this app, which will tell me when and exactly how much to water. All right, here we go. Get my Face ID going here. And now we've officially begun onboarding. So I'll tell the app where my address is, where I intend to grow. I mean, that's Bayview Drive in Alameda, California. And I can also pin my precise location so the app knows exactly where I'm at. Because we'll actually look at the shadows, everything around you, to make sure that we're getting a very accurate environmental analysis. Once I've confirmed my location, I'll be asked to give it a name. Let's go with, say, Bayview Gardens. From here, I'll be able to choose the type of garden that I'm growing in, type of space. This could be a simple raised bed or a planter box, all the way up to a bathtub, a wheelbarrow, or a toilet bowl. We sprinkled this in here just for a little bit of delight on the user's end. Let's say I'm going to use a planter box. Cool. After I indicate what kind of garden I'm planting in, I can indicate its soil depth. And for me, that'll be 18 inches. So we'll continue onwards, and now I'm ready to recreate my space. Let's say that I personally have a 6x2 garden plot. In that case, I will simply make a little 6x2 grid. And conveniently, each grow square is about a square foot, so it fits very nicely into this little layout. Once I've got my garden all drawn up, I can press complete, and hurrah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get my grow scores. If I'm a little bit fuzzy on what that means, I can check it out, get some more context on what that exactly is. But once I'm all sorted, I'm ready, I'm excited, I'll begin my analysis. And here I get a high level view of all the factors that are being considered while this analysis is being taken place. While this analysis is taking place, I apologize. Now the analysis is complete, and I can see kind of a breakdown of all the environmental factors that have been considered. And at this point, I could look at all 26, everything that goes into it. But let's say I'm not interested and I just want to see my results. So a little drum roll. And ooh, I see that I have a shady space. It's pretty cool. It has acidic soil and it's mildly humid. I can spend the time reading these to discover how these individual factors will impact the recommendations I'm going to get on the next screen. So now I'm going to press reveal my recommendations. After a bit of loading, I can see the best plants for my space. So first, I'll probably look at the plants with the highest grow squares, the grow squares with the highest grow scores. I can go through here, see what's going to be best for me. I can also, if I want, sort by the different types of score category. I can also just go back. Maybe I want to instead sort by the plant type, like fruit bearing, leafy greens, roots and tubers, anything of that sort. For the sake of this demo, we won't go into that though. Another thing that's important that I could do is change the planting date. Let's say I don't want to plant in June, I want to plant next month in July. Well, that's not a problem. I can simply pull up the calendar and choose a new date. And then we're good to go. Similarly, if I have more than one garden and I'm swapping between the two, I can easily switch between Bayview Gardens and my other garden, Backyard. At this point, I can also rename the garden if I want to, or even delete it entirely. But we're not going to do that right now. So let's say this spinach has really caught my eye. I've been eyeing up the spinach. 94 grow square. It's really good. So I'm gonna pop it open. I can swipe through some photos if I'd like. Read a quick blurb about what this plant even is, and also see some stats on it. So here I'm seeing that if I choose to grow this grow square, I'm gonna get 9 plants and it can expect to harvest them in about 2 months. Moving on, I can even see a grow score forecast. So I can see that, wow, right now is actually a really great time to plant the spinach. And July might not be so great, but it looks like it'll rebound a bit in August. If someone is very zealous and I want to learn about all the nitty-gritty details, I can also look into the grow score breakdown, which is essentially is a way to view all of the individual statistics that factor into the grow score. So you can look at wind, sunlight, temperature, all that jazz. And if at this point, I'm probably super ready to add this thing to my cart. I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's add it to my cart. Do so, bada boom, bada bing. And from there, let's just go to the cart. Let's go to checkout. I can maybe add a discount code if I want. What are we thinking? Free GrowSquares? Yeah, free GrowSquares. We'll apply that bad boy. Oh, it's not gonna work. What do you think this is? A charity? No. Let's do something a little bit more reasonable. Maybe like any other randomly generated code. Apply it, and great, it works. And now we can go to checkout. This flow, this checkout, is mostly supposed to be very simple, very easy. I can add my address. In this case, my name is Herb Gardner, and fill out all that information. I can, at this point, add my debit card or credit card as well. Fill that in really quick. And then, hurrah, I am ready to check out. This is exciting. So I'll press pay and get a quick order confirmation. At this point, I'm ready to go to my inventory, see the plants that I've just bought, along with all the other ungrown plants I have in my inventory. And we show up at our inventory, and it's very similar to the Discover page. This is intentional because it makes it a little bit easier for our developers to not build out a whole other system for something that's effectively very similar. In fact, I think the only real difference is that I can now delete this grow square should I want to from my inventory. It's also possible for me to, if I have a grow square in my possession that isn't in the app yet, to scan that in very easily. But now, let's move on to the most exciting part of the app, the garden. This is where all the action happens. So let's say we have that spinach we just bought, right? And we're really excited to plant it. We can just select any empty space and our inventory will pop up. We can swipe through our inventory until we find our spinach, but you see here that we have a -1. And we can read and find out that that's because maybe this spinach isn't actually very compatible with the peppers or the beets. However, if we switch the spot, we actually get a compatibility score bonus, meaning that the adjacent spinach and the cucumber above it are actually going to help this plant grow. So now that we're confident that we're growing the best plant for our space at the best time, in the best location, we're ready to plant it. From this moment onwards, we'll pull out our physical grow square, flip open the QR code, and give it a scan. We're scanning it. It registers. We know that we have the right plant, planting the right thing, and we'll continue onwards. At this point, we get a very simple tutorial for how to place this physical grow square into your garden with little fuss. So we'll dig a grow square sized hole, place our grow square into that hole, and then put the little tag right there at the top. And then we're done planting and can complete setup. At this point, we see that, oh, our new grow square, we need some water to be activated. So we can tap on this, see that, oh, I need to add some 4 cups for this first watering. Fill up 4 cups worth, pour it into our grow square, and then add it. We're off to a great start, and I learned that I'll be notified next time I need to water my plants. Pretty simple. And from there, we can return to the garden, the prototype will reset, and I want to show you a bit more about this watering details screen. Let's open up our other spinach. I'm going to water in about 15 hours or now. So I'm going to add my 4 cups and get a little hurrah message. Things are going well. And this is where we sprinkled in a little bit of delay. Every time you water a plant, you're going to get a slightly different message. And this can range from anything from your spinach thanks you to, aw, you wet my plants. So it's a little bit of fun each and every time you water. Let's say that I don't want to water 4 cups. I'm going out for the weekend. I should overwater. You can do that too by just choosing to water a custom amount and filling that out. If you also realize that, oh, shoot, I watered yesterday, but forgot to input it in the app, it's not a problem. You can go to your water history and similarly add a new log. If you decided that, oh, yesterday I actually didn't water, that's a mistake, you can also delete that very easily. And really, that's watering. You can also see the stage that you're in. The copy actually hasn't been written for this yet, so we've got some more Ipsum in there. But ultimately, this will tell you in each stage of what you should be doing. Like if your plants are sprouting at the beginning, make sure that you're thinning them so there's only one sprout per hole. So just general gardening instructions that could be helpful. And lastly, I could show you the inventory. Why not? We can skip over to the U tab. This is Herb Gardener. And while I'm in the U tab, I can see the plants I've grown previously and see a little bit of a different modified detail screen. Again, they're always based on the same core component, so it's easy for the developers, but it displays some slightly different information so the user can reflect on what they've grown. They can also view their order history and sort out any logistics. So if this order maybe is a little bit late, they can scroll down and email our support to make sure that everything's okay. Oh, and the very last thing is notifications, where you can go through, update your preferences. Very simple, low stress, just like that. And I think that just about wraps up this GrowSquares project. I'm really thankful for you sticking around, listening, or maybe just skipping through. And yeah, see you around. Maybe, I don't know how to end these videos. Thanks, bye.